I want to talk about high gas prices, not just gas prices, but the trickle down effect that gas prices are having on other areas, especially policing, especially shipping and other things. Because, when we talk about gas prices, I think most people are saying, you're paying more at the pump. I was just in California. Those of you who live in California, I feel sorry for you. I saw the signs at like the ones I saw were like $7 a gallon, or like, six something a gallon. It is crazy. Now they're saying $5 a gallon nationwide is going to become the norm pretty soon. Those of you looking at your photos of a dollar something per gas, and stroking it gently as you fall asleep, I feel for all of you, is especially we enter the $5 a gallon age. It's rough times we're in. But this isn't, again, just about the price of gas. This isn't just about filling up your car. There's a trickle down effect from this. It's going to affect shipping prices. It affects the price of goods. It affects even fertilizers, because a lot of fertilizers are petroleum based. It affects even a lot of like basic things you wouldn't even think, like plastics and other things like that. All of which are all of which use some type of plastic, which is petroleum, right? Propylene glycol and propylene ethyl. I can't remember the name of it. Polystyrene, polyethylene. I'm sorry. Propylene glycol being an additive in foods. So really, you have plastics which are based on, again, gas. It affects a lot of things: goods, price of goods, shipping, but also actually policing. And the big thing with this is basically you're going to have a trickle down effect from these rising gas prices. We're not going to feel this all at once. It's going to be piece by piece, and things are going to start to break at the seams. Already now you see some of this happening. Now, let me show you this. This is one of the local media. Basically, police cannot respond to some calls because they've burned through their gas budgets already in some areas. This is one example of this. Marietta Police Department's plan to stay within budget if gas prices continue to increase. This is one of the local media we have, right? Marietta Police Chief Aaron Nedeff said the department hasn't made any moves yet to save on gas, but says they know what they will do if gas prices continue to climb. Nedeff said they would likely implement strategies that they did back in 2008 when gas prices were around $4 a gallon. It's much higher now, meaning it's going to be worse than this. Nedeff said, "We instituted downtown foot patrol, at least one car. Instead of having a car drive around, it was an officer walking around." Nedeff said that each officer usually drives around 50 to 70 miles per shift, something they can no longer do. The Independent Journal Review is saying this: gas prices tore through sheriff's department budget. Now it's cutting back on in-person response to 911 calls. And this is in Michigan. It says this is another story. In one county in Michigan, that's what some residents will be experiencing thanks to sky-high gas prices that have ripped through the fuel budget of the Isabel County Sheriff's Office. The department shared this week that it is feeling the pain at the pump, and with several months before its budget resets, it has exhausted what funds were budgeted for gas, according to the Detroit Free Press. Nicole Frost, the county administrator, said the department has burned through 96% of its fuel budget, and there are still 3.5 months left in the fiscal year. As a result of the budgetary situation, Isabel County Sheriff Michael Main says he told deputies to address whatever 911 calls they can over the phone instead of in person. So, pretty much this means they're not going to be responding to a lot of calls. Unless you have like a life-threatening call, they're not going to be going there in some places. Now, he specified such calls include non-in-progress calls, non-life-threatening calls, and calls that do not require evidence collection or documentation. Get ready for a new era of lawlessness in many parts of the U.S., again, as police just don't even have the budget to respond to a lot of calls. Unless your life is in danger, they're not going to be responding in some areas. Now, on this note, not only is this where it's at, right? We're looking at the current situation. It is projected to get worse. And I'm not trying to make things sound too bad, but this is the reality. It's projected to get worse. It's not even at its peak yet. It says nationwide gas prices are surging again, and they're going to hit key milestone and for first time ever, according to Gas Buddy. A milestone, not the end stone, so to speak. It says in a news release on Thursday, Gas Buddy noted that for the first time ever, the U.S.-wide gas prices hit $5 per gallon. And it says, quote, from Gas Buddy, in addition, U.S. refining capacity has fallen by some 1 million barrels per day over the last 3 years. All of these factors have created an environment ripe for a surge in gas prices, while Americans balk at prices but continue filling up as demand has seen little decline. Now, of course, gas is one of those things where demand is not going to go down. You know, normally you have supply and demand. We really have a system where, again, we have a system that's set up anticipating people being able to drive. Let's put it that way. People commuting to work. In fact, the very existence of suburbs is because people are able to commute to work. In some parts of the U.S., like in California, where I'm from originally, San Diego and Riverside County after that, it's like half an hour to 45 minutes if you want to go anywhere, because everything is pretty sparsed out and far apart. It takes a while to drive anywhere, and if you don't have a car, it's almost impossible to get anywhere. Gas is one of those things where the demand is mostly going to stay about the same. The system anticipates there being a supply of it, and so when you have, again, a strain on the supply, that just means prices go through the roof essentially. And not only is it gas paying to drive, it's fertilizers relying on petroleum. It's workers commuting to work. And frankly, if you're making $100 a day and it's going to cost you, let's say, $45 in gas to drive to work, a lot of people are going to hedge their bets and say, well, is it worth driving to work if I'm making half as much money as I used to because gas is so high? It's going to be shipping and freight, which means retail prices are going to go up. Right now, we're in a very delicate stage right now on the price of goods, where basically people, companies selling goods are basically eating the prices. A lot of them, other than food, they're not raising the price of goods, even though technically they would need to, because as soon as they raise the price of goods, that's going to start a domino effect. I had some discussions with some of my colleagues here today on this. As soon as they raise the price of goods, it's going to have a domino effect, and that's going to be inflation. And as soon as that happens, all the other companies are going to start doing it. They're going to have a choice of whether they, again, eat the charges themselves and probably file for bankruptcy, or whether they pass it on to consumers and raise prices, which is going to start the domino effect of inflation. They're trying to stop that other stage from happening, and we're in that very difficult stage where the problem is there and we are not feeling it, because the industries themselves are eating the costs, hoping this ends soon. Now, Biden could easily fix this by, again, restoring some of the Trump-era policies that had America not only at like $1 something per gallon gas, but as a net exporter of gas because we had so much of it. Again, I've made the comparison to the Biden administration's crisis right now. I don't know if you folks know how people like catch raccoons or monkeys. Basically, if you catch a raccoon, you get a box with a little hole, it can stick its hand, and you put a little shiny object in there. It grabs the object, and because, again, it's made a fist instead of a hand, it can't pull its hand out. Now, the raccoon could easily escape if it just let go and took its hand out. But for some reason, the creature doesn't do that. It will not let go of the object to the point where it'll die for the sake of keeping it. Same thing with monkeys in the parts of the world. They put a banana in a box, the monkey reaches and grabs a banana, and even when its life is in danger, the monkey will not release the banana, and so people can catch the monkey or whatever. Biden's policies are like that. Biden has the great banana of gas, right, of these green agendas. He's not releasing the green agenda. His hand is stuck on the banana of this green agenda, and he's not releasing it. Now, the country could be saved if he just let that thing go and pulled his hand out, right? That's all he has to do. Just let go of it, pull his hand out, and the country is saved. He's not letting that thing go. All he has to do is let it go, bring back the policies Trump had, which had America as a net exporter of gas, and again, $1 something per gallon in most parts of the U.S., but they're not doing it. The agenda is more important to them than, frankly, saving this country and saving policing and saving prices and saving your jobs and saving shipping and all these other things. They're not doing it.